If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. If you've watched this channel for a while, I've covered the Mark of the Beast many, many times. I know a lot of people have different perspectives on what it is. A lot of people believe it's going to be something with the vax. A lot of people think it's the microchip. There's actually people who think it's Sunday worship. The simple fact is it's not something that should be argued upon, because it's something when it's revealed to us, we will all know. But one thing that we know is that you will not be able to buy or sell without having the mark in your forehead or in your wrist. Revelation chapter 13, verse 17, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. But one of the things I've talked about is this electronic tattoo. I talked about 3-4 years ago, the dangers of it. And a few months ago, with all this crazy stuff going on, I took note to do a video on this because I wanted to show everyone it. And again, we have these companies like Google and Apple who continue to step forward, you know, as these trusted names who are creating these things such as, well, what they're calling here, they're creating their own skin tattoo. It's called skin marks. And I'll tell you right now, I'd rather have skid marks in my underwear for the rest of my life than put a skin mark on my body. But they might as well call it skid mark, because that's what it is, a skid mark. And of course, it's being created by Google, because these are the companies that are going to create this type of technology so that people, oh, I have to have it. It's the newest thing from Apple. It's the newest thing from Google, right? We know Google's experimenting with altering DNA strands. Things where people should be like, huh? I thought Google was a search engine. I thought Google was doing this. And why are they doing that? Well, it's all part of it. It's all part of the beast system. Now, I'm going to show you a clip, and then I'm going to talk about what you need to know about this skin tattoo. But become familiar with it, because it's going to become a normal thing where you're able to control your technology with this implemented skin tattoo that sticks almost like glues onto your wrist without using glue, where you can control your devices. And in reality, your devices can control you. So take a look.
From MRIs to EKGs, sonograms to scanners, medical technology allows doctors to monitor vital information about the inner workings of the human body. Imagine if some of these machines could be made so thin, light, and portable that they could be attached right to the surface of your skin and go wherever you go.
There's some very sophisticated device functionality sitting on my skin now.
2 NSF-funded innovators have done just that by engineering something called an electronic tattoo, a microelectronic health monitor that has the potential to revolutionize the field of healthcare technology.
The electronic has always been rigid. To make electronic flexible, that's quite a challenge.
The path taken by John Rogers and Hyun-Gong Hwang to develop the electronic tattoo is an example of how collaboration is often a key or critical part of the innovation process. It all started in 2005 when both men worked at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and Hwang happened to stop by a lecture Rogers was giving on campus.
Then we started talking, and we find John's work very fascinating, and John found my work on mechanics useful. So naturally the two of us evolve and work together.
At the time of their first encounter, Rogers, a material scientist and electrical engineer, was looking for new ways to use electronic circuits formed on the surface of silicon. Silicon is a natural semiconductor that has electrical properties between that of a conductor, a material in which an electrical charge can flow freely, and an insulator, a material that doesn't conduct an electrical charge at all. Semiconductors are the heart of most electronics today.
So at a very simple level, you can use a semiconductor like silicon as a switching element to turn electricity off or on.
Huang, a mechanical engineer who has since moved to Northwestern University, specializes in the mechanics of curvilinear materials, which have surfaces that are wavy.
Curvilinear surface means it's a surface that's not flat. That's not, for example, my hat. The surface is curvilinear.
By combining their fields of expertise to hatch the initial idea of the tattoo, they set out to manufacture a prototype, something that has taken about 7 years and multiple breakthroughs to produce.
But one of the key things is to make electronics as flexible as possible that can follow the skin morphology.
The first breakthrough happened when they figured out how to slice off the surface layer of a silicon wafer. This new technique resulted in silicon that could bend, just like this single sheet of paper. Next, they discovered how to make silicon elastic, allowing it to be either flat or wavy in shape.
Suddenly you have a form of silicon that can bend, it can stretch, it can deform, it can coat and conform to curvilinear shapes, very much like biological tissues.
Even though it is called a tattoo, there is no need to pierce or puncture the skin. Instead, the device sticks on.
So what we can do then is we can take this device, laminate it on the skin, almost like a children's temporary transfer tattoo.
To figure out how to engineer this, Rogers and Huang looked to nature, noting how easily lizards stick to walls.
Like gecko and others, they can easily attach to a wall and easily let go. So for us, we want to borrow some of that idea and to make the electronic not using glue to have strong adhesion with the skin.
Once attached, it can wirelessly detect electrical signals from inside the body, such as those given off by cells within the heart that cause it to contract and pump blood through its 4 chambers.
This particular device is powered inductively. So there's a coil here. I can bring a wireless power supply in proximity to this device and deliver power to it through the air.
Rogers and Huang filed at least 10 different patent applications with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to protect their invention before commercializing it. Patents allow inventors to acquire what are known as intellectual property rights to their inventions for limited periods of time.
The intellectual property is absolutely crucial. If that's not done carefully and thoughtfully, and if you don't really have distinctively new ideas that are well separated from things that people have tried in the past, it won't be viable. You won't be able to commercialize it.
A startup company called MC10 has licensed the multiple patents and patent applications and is developing a new generation of flexible healthcare devices.
While doing mechanics work, I never thought that I would have so much interaction with electrical engineers or material scientists. But now it's really at the interface we create new devices that never existed before.
Innovation brought to life by a unique and long-lasting collaboration that has the potential to stretch the limits of modern healthcare technology.
So I don't know what kind of loser you have to be to want this. But again, we live in a tech world where all these types of inventions are embraced by society. Nobody's alarmed by this stuff, of course. Everybody thinks everything's a big joke. They don't take scripture literally. They don't think that these are evil people doing evil things. They think they're wonderful people. They think the evil people is the boogeyman. Remember when the evil people of the world were ISIS? By the way, what has happened to them? Anyone heard from them in a while with all the crazy stuff going on in the world that just got dropped like a bad habit? Guess those tactics weren't working anymore for our fear-based media and government. But this is called Skin Marks, and it will be a temporary rub-on tattoo which contains sensors. They will also work as displays, glowing or lighting up to alert wearers to a notification on their device. Oh, that's so necessary. Wow, cool. I mean, can't you just listen for a notification on your device? Google says one of the key aspects of the technology is its ability to contour around awkward parts of the body, such as knuckles or side of a finger. Once attached to the body, the technology would allow people to communicate with electronic devices simply by touching their skin. Yeah, because this is necessary. This could be similar to the way phones are operated, for example, a swiping or a simple tap onto the tattoo. And they said, however, there are some things the tattoos could pick up on the phones or computer that computers could not. This includes squeezing motions, moving of the fingers or limbs in a way that sensors could detect. Google also says the tattoos would take advantage of proprioception, that is, a person's ability to sense what his or her body is doing without looking. Why don't you just put the technology in you to let Let the computers and the devices control you at this point. They already do technically without being inside of people's bodies. They are controlled by their phones and their technology, right? Every time somebody does something nowadays, they immediately think, how will this look if I put it on Facebook? Instead of, oh, is this the right thing to do? They're like, oh, it's the right thing to do because it's going to look great if I put it on Facebook. Oh, I'm cooking a meal, but I'm more concerned with how it looks so I can put it on Facebook than actually eating it. Because they're controlled by social media. They're controlled by their devices. They're controlled by all of this nonsense. They don't realize it. They say the tech firm Google is referring to this as eyes-free usage and say the tattoos would work by leveraging human sensory and motor capabilities. And Google, in addition, says the tattoos would interact with accessories already worn on the skin. So in other words, it could interact with your iPhone or your iWatch or something else you might be wearing. Then it says this means a wedding ring could become touch sensitive. Huh? And the same goes for a wide range of other jewelry as long as it's made out of a conductive material. What does that even mean? You can control your wedding ring? Like what? Move it? I mean, what? As well as being receptive to a range of inputs, the tattoos are also able to light up or glow. Cool. Google has reported one particular example it developed in which a heart-shaped mark is displayed on the skin depending on the availability of a loved one. Google said touching it starts a call with that person. So it could call somebody instead of picking up your roto phone and calling someone. It's so much easier, right? And again, I point these things out because there's dangers behind this type of technology controlling you, monitoring you, and having the capability to control waves inside of your body and all sorts of things that people don't comprehend because they just automatically trust in the brand, right? Trusting in Google, trusting in Apple, thinking there's no ulterior motive behind this stuff. And again, I'm not saying that this is the mark because it's a debate that Christians have quite too often, and we shouldn't even be arguing about this stuff. It's like having a debate about the Antichrist. I think we'll all know who it is when it's fully revealed to us, those of us who have the Holy Spirit, who have discernment. So this is the thing now that Google is starting up with. This is a few months ago they came out and talked about skin marks, and I wanted to make everyone aware of it. Technology is going to continue to get more dangerous and more dangerous. And of course, this is all going to gear and lead towards the mark of the beast. Again, we know that you're not going to be able to buy or sell without having this mark, right? And we know about the electronic currency. We know how they're trying to kill off cash and create this cashless society. So be aware of these things. Share these things with people who might not be aware. It's important to be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what these companies are trying to do, because all this stuff is right in front of our faces. They're revealing themselves every single day. I want to thank everyone out there for supporting the channel. I want to thank the patrons again. For those of you who are patrons, it's because of you that keeps this YouTube channel going. So if you feel that it's important that people get this information on YouTube despite all the censorship, it's because of you, the patrons, that keeps it going. So please consider becoming one if you're not. And again, if you haven't checked out the website, callforanuprising.com. Please consider becoming a member. Good stuff going on over there. I want to thank all of you again for your constant support. Don't put technology like this on your body. Just don't. I thank you again for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.